Good morning and welcome into MTCS Cougar Corner. And we're going to talk some football this morning. We get to fall break. Maybe some of you are listening in while you're on the beach. Who knows? Or watching today. Glad to have you along with us. Our show presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Going to talk football with Christian Peterson this morning and kind of look at the first 2/3 of the season, I guess, if you look at it schedule-wise. Coach, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good. Doing good. I don't know about you. I'm ready for a little fall break action.
Yeah. Especially with all the travel we've had, we're definitely looking forward to kind of having that week. And it's funny when we got here, people were like, "Oh yeah, fall break. Like we don't really practice. Like we just take it off and we're good." And I remember Tack and I being like, "No, you can't just take a week off and practice. Like that's the craziest thing I ever heard. Like we don't have fall break in Florida. Like it's not a thing.
No fall break at all. Huh?
And so, we were like, absolutely not. We're not doing that." And then so we kind of conceded to like, all right, we'll try it for a year. We'll probably hate it, and we'll just practice, and we'll move on with our lives. And really, it's a good reset, I think, for our kids. It's kind of we're able to split that season kind of in half. You have your scrimmages and other games leading up to it, and then you kind of get to kind of rest, recoup, come back, and then you really now it's time for that big push kind of at the end of the year. Got a couple of regular season games left, and then you're in the postseason. And so for us, we enjoy it now. We've kind of embraced it, and our kids handle it the right way. They come back ready to go, and understanding that when we come back, it's go time. It's the critical part of the year.
Do you have buys? In Florida, do you have bye weeks?
You have one. You have one. So they'll play like
but
a week
not
zero.
a break or anything, is
No,
what you're saying. So.
No, yeah, it's just whenever you don't have a game, you just have your bye week then. There's teams that have week 1 buys and then play 10 straight and then go into the postseason. There's teams that do it, week 11, so they'll play 10 straight, then have week 11 off, and then go into the postseason. So really, it just kind of depends on the school. Some try and put it probably right around where a fall break would be. But you're still in school, you're still practicing, you just don't have a game that week.
Yeah. Fall break is, I'm so old that I can remember the days when it was just Columbus Day. That was the day off. And, it's a fairly recent, I say fairly recent, but, and how to handle that and things of that nature. So obviously you've come around to taking the week off, and I know you don't like to do it, but you've already kind of experienced this by, unfortunately, when you couldn't fill a game, but you used that opportunity. You were still in school that time, so
yeah,
you've really had 2 buys this season.
Yeah, and we got another one coming up, week 10. So I think our kids though, like we're older this year than we were last year, but we're still young. But I think our week 3 bye really kind of changed the trajectory of our season. Right, like I think it was good for us to get in, have those competition periods, get really physical in that week, and really kind of jump started us into that kind of that second part of the year. We got into region games. This one's going to be good for us. Just all those nicks and bruises and all those things you kind of get throughout playing 6 football games. And so. Come back after fall break. Hopefully we'll be fully healthy. If not, we'll have, 1 or 2 guys still kind of dealing with, just some lingering stuff that happens throughout the year. And then, we'll play a good opponent in Tipton Rosemark and, get ready for our last region game there on Halloween.
When you go from, playing a game, come back, practice for the next game, that is a repetitive and you're working hard, playing hard on Friday nights. To have that chance to, maybe as a coach, you don't think 24/7 about football. You do a little family things, and the players have that opportunity to do that. You really need that. And you see it in adult life. You need these breaks as a teacher and coach.
Yeah, for sure. And, we talk about it, all the time. They're high school kids, right? They're never going to think about football as much as the coaches do.
Yeah.
Right? They just aren't. And that's okay. Like, they're kids. They need to enjoy high school. They need to do all the things that go along with high school. And, and I think these breaks kind of give them that time to not think about football, go and have fun, go to the beach, go hang out with their friends, go do all those things, and then they're excited when they get back from fall break. Now that they feel better, their body doesn't hurt. They're able to lock in, and they're ready for that final push. And so, for us, we've really embraced it. Again, I think our kids handle it well when they come back. Like, it's not, we don't have to start from zero. They come back, they remember what they're supposed to do, and they come in. And the last couple of years, that week after fall break's been one of our best week of practices of the year.
Yeah.
They're excited, they're ready to go, and so hopefully we're able to replicate that again, and come out ready to go when we get back.
So you're a proponent of breaking at fall break now.
Yes, yeah, I'm all in. Again, just because of how the kids respond to it, right? I think for us, like when we're looking at things, it's always what helps the kids play their best, and since we've been here, we've handled fall break well, and so as long as we continue to do that, we're going to continue to take that week off and rest up and recover and be excited when we come back. Football's such a long season. It's a grind, and you're only playing one game a week. Some of the other sports, they play more games, but it's more condensed because they're playing 3-4 games in a week. For us, it's a whole lot of practice and then one game, and a whole lot of practice, then one game, and everything's really physical. And so kind of having that mental reset and that physical reset, and it's been good.
Christian Peterson with us on MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. If there was such a thing, Coach, as back in the day, you used to win air miles and win this or that and get this prize. If there were bus miles, you probably would be right up there with anybody in the state of Tennessee in high school football.
Yeah, we are definitely traveling a lot. I was, and that's another reason why I think fall break's coming at a good point.
Yeah.
You go to Johnson City and then you go to Salina. Like, those are 2 long trips. So again, just the break from having to get on the bus. When we come back, we're going to go to Memphis. So, kind of having that week in between them, so we're not going Johnson City, Salina, Memphis back to back to back. Will be nice. But yeah, we're definitely road warriors this year, and I think our kids have prepared well. I think we've played hard, and especially with a bunch of sophomores, a bunch of freshmen, some juniors, some seniors, but you look at it and we're still fairly young, and so you never know how they're going to respond to being on a bus for 3 hours, or be on the bus when we go to Johnson City for 5 hours. And I think our kids have done a good job of understanding that yeah, it's fun, we're on a charter bus, but like, understand we're going to try and win a football game, and it's a business trip. And again, I think can't say enough about our kids. Like, I think they've handled this year well. There's been a lot of uncertainty with the schedule and with travel and everything else, and they've done a good job just kind of rolling with it, understanding that we can only control what we can control, and just continue to do the best we can and keep playing hard.
I mean, when this season started in the preseason, after the break in summertime, and then you come back and you had a full schedule, and then you just start losing game. Here's a game that's lost, and here's another game. That can kind of work on your psyche a little bit, especially as a coach too. I mean, you're thinking, well, gosh, what am I going to do now?
Yeah, you lose 2, and then you replace one of them, and then you lose that one, and so it's just kind of been schedule-wise, it's not been a fun year. But again, I don't think it's affected our kids. They understand what's in front of them. They've put themselves in a position to try and win the 4th ever region championship in school history, and I think that's been kind of the rallying cry of our kids, of understanding that what's in front of them is something that hasn't been done a ton of times at MTCS. And, it's an exciting time that, we feel like when the season starts every year, we're going to have a shot to go win it. And while also understanding that, it hasn't been done, hasn't been done 50 times. Like, we've only played football for 20 years here.
Right.
And so to put yourself in a position to try and go win your 4th one is again testament to our kids, and again, I think they've just kind of rolled with the punches this year.
Well, Clay County was not one of those region games, but I don't even know if you even pay attention to this when you have to schedule games, especially what you've had to go through this year. But you knew this was going to be a war going to Clay County for sure.
Yeah, we always try and find one of those 1 or 2A public schools. We can play them sometime around fall break. In a perfect world, that's where we'd like to play that game. We know we try and go find teams that are going to be physical football teams that play really hard, that have a history of winning. We the first 2 years we were here, we played Wayne County. The next 2 years we played South Pitt. This year, next year we'll play Clay County. Like we're gonna go find somebody that's gonna go be really physical and 22 they were a semifinalist team. I think they have a shot to be a semifinalist team again this year, if not better than that. They're a good program with a history of winning. That's a really physical brand of football. And so when we're making a schedule, we're trying to find those teams. Outside of the region that is going to be a good matchup for us. And, because even Friday night, it's one of those things where like, yeah, you lost the game, but, I'm really proud of how our kids fought. Thought we played well, thought we played physical. And I think it's one of those games that kind of will help you as the season goes on. They gave us a look, we just hadn't had a ton of yet this year. And so, for our young guys up front, it's going to be really good to sit down, watch the film, and just see what they did and how we can adjust and what we can do better and what we did really well. And so, I think it's one of those games that, if we learn from it, then it's going to really help us as the year goes on.
You don't really gain a whole lot by playing, a team that has traditionally maybe had a losing record for the past 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not looking to go schedule teams that go 0-10 every year. Like, that doesn't help us. We want to go play, good football teams that give us a look. It's less about, hey, let's try and find a schedule that we can go 10-0. It's let's go make a schedule that's going to prepare us that when we get into the postseason, we're ready to go play. And, that's always kind of our goal, is making sure we're in a position to play our best football when the postseason gets here.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the stats from the game at Clay County. Ellie had almost 70 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown, and added a touchdown reception in the game against Clay County. But he got a lot of attention from Clay County, didn't he?
He sure did. And well deserved. He's played a lot of really good football for us. I thought, him, Shy, Marlowe, I thought they all did really well in the offense on Friday. I thought all of them brought different things to the table. The trap we hit for the touchdown for Ali was blocked up really well up front, and then he made a move on the safety to get in the end zone. We had a reverse to Shy for a long touchdown run where, he splits the defenders and gets into the end zone. Our first touchdown drive where Marlowe ends up throwing the ball to Ali for a touchdown. Like, Marlowe did most of the heavy lifting on that drive. And so, you really have three different touchdowns led by three different people on that drive. And so I think that's a benefit to us, is to know that we can kind of lean on different people just depending on what the defense gives us. And we know they can step up and make some plays.
Let's see, trailed 8-7 after the first quarter. Second quarter was really the one where Clay County took the lead to where it was going to take some great effort in the second half, and your defense gave you a shot at that because they held them scoreless in the third.
Yeah, we, they scored with 1 second left in the half, and kind of gave themselves a 2-score lead there. And then we come out, we play really well on defense, get a stop. They stop us, we stop them again. We go down and score. It's a 22-20 football game. And then, they, credit to them, they had a great kickoff return that set them up for their last one. But again, I think what I'm proud of too is we've made adjustments at halftime now and a few different games, and to watch our kids go out and execute those adjustments has been really good. I think early in the year, you would see things that if something hurt us early, it was still going to hurt us late. And I think as the year has progressed, you've seen our kids just continue to get better to where something that hurts us early, we can make some adjustments, and now we can make adjustments in game, and now we can start slowing some of that stuff down. And so again, proud of our kids. You get into start of the fourth quarter. It's a 22-20 game against a good football team. It's one of those things where 4 or 5 plays determine a game like this, and credit to Kidd County, they won those plays, and so it's, again, we'll get in there, we'll watch the film, we'll see what we've got to do to try and go win those 4 or 5 plays, and go put ourselves in position to win games as the season goes on.
Thought we would recognize on the defensive side of the ball SRM Concrete solid performers, Eric Bowling and Cooper Jones. Both of them, Bowling had 14 tackles total, Cooper Jones 13 tackles, and, that really kind of kept you in that game. Go to the fourth quarter only down by 2. That's what you want on the road.
Yeah. We had hit some big plays for touchdowns. And they were grinded out. Both of us are kind of control the clock, run the football type teams, and so our defense ended up on the field for quite a bit. And I thought as the game went on, they got better and better. You look at it, and Eric, obviously leading tackler on the year, leading tackler on Friday night, big senior leader for us. Cooper with 13 tackles. Riley Brown came in, had 12 tackles. Tripp had 8. You start going through it, and I thought our linebackers took a step forward. There's still some room to grow, but I thought they played well. They did a lot of really good things. Again, I think as the game got on, our D-line got more and more into the game. And we were able to disrupt some things, especially there in the second half. And again, it was one of those games where they score, we scored, they score, we scored, they score, we scored, they score. Now that there's not a whole lot of time left on the clock, and so again, I thought we'd put ourselves in position, and we've got to figure out a way to, again, win those 4 or 5 plays that'll decide those games. But overall, I'm proud of our kids. I'm proud of their fight. It's a much deserved fall break now as we kind of regroup, reset, and then get ready to go tackle the second half.
It's that one series where instead of, you score, they score, you score, they score, it's you score, they score, maybe. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's the difference in those few plays.
Absolutely. And again, I thought we put ourselves in position, right? And, on the road, you've got to go put yourself in position, and you got to go find a way. And I think, again, we continue to take steps. We're not there yet. We've talked about it all year. We've talked about it when we were winning. We're still not at our best. And, again, you want to be your best when the postseason starts, when the playoffs get rolling. And so we still have room to grow. We have room to improve. And, I'm excited to, when we get back to the practice field, fix some of those things we got to fix, and, get ready to go make this push. And I don't think anyone's going to be excited when the playoffs starts that they drew MTCS. They're going to know they're going to be in for a 4-quarter football game. And, again, I think that's a testament to our kids with how hard they play.
So let me try to remember from the top of the head your schedule, because it has changed quite frequently this year, right? So there are 3 regular season Fridays left after fall break, and so you've got a road game at Tipton Rosemark, then a bye.
Yes,
and then I guess what's going to wind up being a number 1 seed going into playoffs on the line, huh? Possibly.
Yeah, for sure. It will be no matter what. I think with Concord beating PA on Friday, I think it's pretty much sealed up now. Whether it's a winners first, losers third, or winners first, losers second, or however it ends up shaking up.
Gotcha.
But, with us winning our first 3, like I told our kids, at the end of the day, it's in our hands. Like, we go out and win on Halloween, then we're region champs, and nothing else matters. So again, I think our kids are really bought into that, and they understand what's in front of them. They understand, that game's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be rowdy. We're
going to be there.
Yeah, there's not going to be many games on Friday that week, and so, we're going to kind of be the show in town, and I'm excited to see what happens when we put the ball down.
And you never know what happens on Halloween, but a lot that gets there between now and then. You go to Tipton Rosemark Academy, and for those of you who know Tennessee geography, there is a Tipton County, and that's where you're going, I think.
Yeah, we're heading out again. We'll be on a bus and driving out there, and they're a really good football team. Nick's Fullen, their running back, number 22. I mean, they don't hide it. He's going to get the football, and he's going to get the football a lot. I think he's got up to like 160 carries now on the year. He's a really good football player. We're going to have to gang tackle him. We're going to have more than one hat trying to get there and make a play. And then offensively, we've got to go down and we've got to put points on the board and we've got to put pressure on them. And very similar, they're another single wing team. We're going to have to try and force them to try and throw the football to beat us. Again, another really good test for us, another game that I'm excited about, and looking forward to being able to get back together, get to practice, and try and go win a football game.
Well, enjoy the break. I'm sure that with you and young children, there's a list.
Oh yeah,
Mama needs a nap one day.
No doubt. Yeah, we're going to Chattanooga for a couple days. Honestly, I didn't want to travel very far.
I understand.
I knew when we got to this point,
right?
Yeah, on bus, plane, I don't care. Like I did not want to drive more than probably farther than Chattanooga is probably about my limit. But no, it's going to be good to get away for a little bit, go be dad for a little bit. Hang out with my oldest, my youngest, my wife, and just kind of, go. And they're already talking about all the different things. We're going to go hiking. We're going to do all these things. And so the 5-year-old especially, she's getting really into it. She's got her list that she's ready for us to go do when we get to Chattanooga. And so we're excited. It's gonna be a good kind of reset, and then as we kind of get ready to get rolling. But it's fun. It's a fun time. The little ones grow up so fast. It's crazy that I think my oldest is in kindergarten now at MTCS. When I got here, she was a year and a half, and so we definitely enjoy these moments and enjoy getting to be a dad.
Well, enjoy the break. We will not have Cougar Corner next week, but we'll follow with the following week after you make yet another road trip. And we'll see you back here, hopefully after a win over Tipton Rosemark Academy.
I appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Christian Peterson, joining us here on the show. And that will wrap up MTCS Cougar Corner for this morning, and also our coaches' conversation that we've had all morning long. Again, that reminder, no shows next week, but we will return on the 18th, and our next high school broadcast will be Riverdale versus Siegel on Friday the 17th. So for our co-hosts this morning, John Dinkins and Bill Hockenberry, our producer Dalton Barrett, I'm Brian Barrett. Have a wonderful Saturday and a safe fall break, and we'll see you back here in a couple of weeks.